mobile, so
I could give a whole fucking another.
Oh, COD.
You were
Yeah.
talking about me getting upset, and mobile games annoy me to no end.
oh, no, fair enough. Because the thing is, okay, I might rant on mobile games. Peter, finish what you're gonna say. Then I might rant on that. Okay.
Right. So yeah, I was gonna say like PUBG Mobile's like the same thing as the PUBG on like any other platform. Basically, you just like find a house, you just get a few guns, and then run to the center of the zone and hide.
Yeah. Okay.
Just how it is.
No, fair enough. So, no, let me start bitching about games on smartphones, I'm a
Go for
smartphone
it.
enthusiast, Randy knows this, and Randy hates me for that, but fine
I
by
don't
me.
hate you for it. I just don't think they're interesting.
No, that's understandable, but you know what really pisses me off? Games on smartphones, how many times do you use your smartphone most of the time, when you're doing action, like scrolling through your feed? What mode do you use? Portrait or landscape?
I am on an iPad, so I use landscape.
Okay, but if you're on your phone, you usually use portrait, right? Now you're scrolling through your feed or something, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Unless you're watching some movie or something like a cutscene or something, like you put it in landscape then, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
with fucking games, the best games I ever played were always in portrait modes, on smartphones. Never in landscape. Fucking why?
Never played a fucking phone game in portrait mode. I guess I played like game Words with Friends, maybe.
Yeah, like what games are you playing to get in portrait mode? The fuck?
Yeah, that's pretty weird.
I mean, it's
What
usually
are you playing? Candy Crush?
No, not Candy Crush.
Words with Friends, Subway Surfer. I guess there's a couple.
Yeah,
Subway
no, like
Surfer is pretty good.
some games where the thing is on smartphones there's very limited controls because of the size of the phone. Unless you have a LG V60 or it's gaming phone where it literally has built-in controls, that's a
If
different
you have
story.
a gaming
Then
phone, just play it on the computer.
I mean, to be frank, gaming phones are cheaper than computers still, so I'll give you that. But I'm sorry. But my whole beef is with gaming on smartphones is that the controls are shit, and the screen is small as fuck if you're trying to play in landscape,
Are you like only talking about shooters or?
No, not on shooters in general. If you're trying to play a game in fucking landscape, why the fuck would you play on landscape?
What? I don't know what you're getting. I mean, most games only allow you to play on landscape, right?
It depends on the game, because I've seen games that are like, I guess you'd say, I wouldn't say not like visual novels, but like games that are like management games, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like not something like necessarily
like
I don't know how to describe it. Like not in the sense of like Sims, but like something around like some like style of gameplay. You know what I mean? Like you're micromanaging a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It makes sense to play in more portrait. It makes sense for that. I think that's where playing games on smartphones are played the most fun. Where you're just managing stuff, or just like, or it's a plot-driven game. But if it's something in landscape, most of the time it's kind of shit because you have a bunch of controls, and especially with FPS, it's like, why the fuck would I play with an FPS on my phone without an actual controller? At that point, let me just play it on my TV.
Well, so that's the inherent problem with smartphone games.
Yeah,
that they do not submit to their hardware. They try to be a lot of shit.
Yeah,
that they should not.
They
be.
do not.
Counterpoint, card games.
There are games that are
card games. Yeah,
on phone. Like what's it? Card games, strategy games, management game, anything that's like slow. You can take your time. You can look at it. Even like there are faster games like what's it? Angry Birds, Subway Surfer.
Oh yeah, Subway Surfers. Hell yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like there are even faster games. The problem comes when you try to take things that should not be on a phone.
Yeah.
Put them on a phone. For example.
That's like my main beef. It's like I understand if you're trying to port something like KOTOR, some RPG game on like old one like 2 decades ago, on your phone.
That's fucking terrible.
I mean, it depends. Like if you're planning to hook up your phone to like a TV and like use a Bluetooth controller, I think that's nice. It's like, hey, I'm not complaining, but that's fun to do. If you don't have an actual PC or the console.
The problem comes more when you play it on your phone.
Yeah, no, that's my main beef. It's like Jesus Christ. I understand like, oh, you can play on your phone, but just let me just use my phone as a mini PC so I can just play it on my desktop or on my like TV.
What's it like mobile MOBAs and like fucking shooters? I don't get because you're using up so much screen real estate to move around and fire abilities and shit, and it's like it's just a worse experience.
Yeah,
it's not good. It's the mobile medium was never built for you to like play a dual stick game.
I mean, it depends. There's some phones that are built like that, but that's
what I'm saying is that there's like it's a whole other. You have to get a special device. Could you imagine if you had to get a second Xbox or whatever so you could play fucking MOBAs or whatever, shooter games?
Oh,
It doesn't make
please
sense.
don't.
Just stick to your medium, stick to the things you're good at.
No, I can understand if you want to, like...
Awesome game. Flappy Bird, or not Flappy... Yeah, I mean, sure, to an extent, Flappy Bird. Angry Birds, phenomenal. There are legitimately really good phone games.
Yeah, no.
Those games are good because they apply to the medium that they're set in.
I mean, to be frank, Randy, if I'm gonna be honest, I've played some good phone FPS games, but here's the thing, here's the kicker. They're not complex. The gameplay, they understand the screen size, they understand your real estate, they don't spam you with controls. It's basic, but it's entertaining.
What I'm saying is that's not like it's never gonna be the same. It's never gonna be as fucking
that's a given.
It's just all shrunken. It's just less.
Yeah, games like platformers, those are a good example where it actually makes it sense to play it. I'm playing one right now, and it makes sense to.
Platformers on a phone, I'm still pretty meh with.
I don't know. Like for me, platformers on phones are pretty fine. It's like the controls, like it's not complex. You need like 3 or 4 controls at max. Nothing else.
It comes back to that same problem of when you have to put your hands on your display, you're using up a lot of that screen real estate.
And that's why people buy large phones, Randy, as well,
I have a fucking iPad. I know better than everyone. It's still bad.
I mean, I don't know, Randy, if you're a fucking idiot, and here's the thing. How do you play on your iPad? Do you play with a keyboard, controller, or just...
I play with my hands like a person might.
Gee, and you're a fucking idiot. Okay, thank you, Randy.
I'm not gonna fucking spend a shitload of money for an iPad or the keyboard.
Don't buy... I'm not saying just buy a Bluetooth... Just use a Bluetooth keyboard. That's it.
Why would I spend money on that? What end?
I mean, I don't know. Like, I've seen... Like, I don't know. You don't have, like, a Bluetooth keyboard or controller to just play your games on?
Because why would I do that?
Don't you have a Switch controller?
No, I have a Switch Lite.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that.
Regardless. Like, why would you spend money on a wireless fucking controller or whatever? Shit's relevant. Shit's irrelevant. Like, it's like, oh my god, then you can play shooters on your iPad. Why would I do that though? It's not what it's made for.
Okay, no, I see what you mean. Okay, I thought you were saying like, oh yeah, I play shooters on my iPad. It's like, Randy, what the fuck are you doing?
No, I think they're dumb. I hate that because the thing that upsets me the most is when a game comes out is legitimately interesting and sounds really fun to play, and then you find that it's only on mobile, and it's like, I hate you.
Yeah.
I would steal this from me.
Like the thing with mobile games in general, it's like if it's like a shooter RPG, I would like connect my phone to my TV and just start playing it from there.
Else. Play it on my fucking computer or my Xbox or a Switch Lite. Like there's a million billion better places to put an RPG or a shooter. Why are you putting it on a fucking phone?
I mean, to be frank, personally, for me, like at least with stuff like that, there's some legitimate reason, but not to play on your phone, if that makes sense. Because a lot of phones you can actually output to your TV now or your computer.
Have you ever tried to play a MOBA on a console?
Why would the fuck would I play a MOBA on a console?
Exactly. It doesn't work. It's yucko.
Exactly. But what I'm saying, Randy, is
one MOBA that works on a console and it plays like no other MOBA.
Wait, which one are you talking about?
Smite. You control instead of controlling Smite how you do with most MOBAs, where you click where you want to walk. It's controlled with like the left stick and the right, like it's dual stick with the triggers. And that is the only MOBA that works on a fucking console because it understands where it is and what it's good at. Yeah,
but like the thing is, my beef with like most games, it's like at least on phones, it's like, okay, cool, let me output this to a TV and like let me just use it as like a mini console or like a mini PC or something, and just like play it from there, But most games don't support it, which I just find mind fucking boggling. Where you have stuff like Netflix and Hulu and like Amazon Prime that fucking do it.
It's like, because it's a really recent idea using your phone.
It's not a fucking recent idea, right? It's been a thing for like the last 5 years. Windows Phone had that. Fucking Windows Phone.
Yeah. No one gives a shit about the Windows Phone either. So who cares what it had?
I'm just saying, for the past 10 years, we have this idea for many years, and it's like, yeah, let's actually start doing this more common, actually fucking integrate into goddamn Android, That's my second beef with like this Android in general. It's like, why the fuck is this not baked into the OS already,
Because it's a fucking underused feature that no one cares about or is asking for.
I mean, I don't know, Randy. Many people were asking for this earlier, many years ago. You know,
you're the first person I've heard who's been like, "Oh, let me use my phone as a mini console," and it's like, why not just buy a fucking regular console?
Because some people are poor, Randy.
Well,
then buy a secondhand console. You can get a fucking PlayStation 2 for very little money. For less money than
Randy, I don't think you realize if you try to buy a console in Pakistan, where do you think you can buy a fucking console?
You're not in Pakistan, Umar.
I know, but most of my family, you know, who play games, they mostly play on their smartphones. I'm the only one who actually plays on my fucking PC.
How, if they can afford a smartphone, it feels like it'd be way cheaper to just buy a secondhand console at that point.
Randy, do you not realize how fucking expensive? Like, here's the thing: a smartphone is literally the only PC they use, if that makes sense.
I threw up in my mouth.
You okay, Randy?
Yeah, you good?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm very sick today.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, yeah. Sorry about that if I,
Oh, no, it's fine. It's not your fault. It's just how my body works.
Okay,
Regardless of the point.
But still, like, Randy...
Coming back to the argument.
But here's the thing. The only reason why people play smartphones is because most of the time it's the only PC they have, I've seen many kids who don't even have an actual fucking laptop. As the Chromebook was their, like, first fucking laptop.
It feels like there has to be a cheaper alternative, though. Phones are not fucking cheap.
Randy, you can buy a $200 phone that works fine.
You can buy a much cheaper PlayStation.
Here's the thing. Are you going to invest...
You know what, guys? I think we should move on from this. We're taking way too much.
No, Peter, I'm going to fight. I'm going to die on this damn hill if necessary. I don't know if you realize, it's like comparing a console to a PC, Yeah, a PC is more powerful and can do more, but it's more expensive. But here's the thing, it can do more. A phone can do more than a goddamn console.
The issue is cost. Get a cheaper thing.
Like, here's the thing, if it's cost, it's like, here's the thing, would you rather do the things, one that can do most things pretty well, or one that does only one thing specific and nothing else? For the same price, and you only have that much money.
Well, it depends on the situation that I'm in. If I want to play games, I will get a cheap way to play games. It's like, hey, I really need a knife. Oh, okay, here's a Swiss Army knife. Thanks. Technically, this is an answer to what my question is, but it's not what I was looking for.
I mean, here's the thing. The thing is, we live in a really rich country. We're pretty well off compared to most other people, So
yes, obviously.
We have the benefit of using a smartphone, a PC, and a game console, where we can play on anything device. This is really a first world issue more than anything else. But you see places where it's like people may not have the cash, to actually buy a console or a PC, and like their smartphone is the only device they have to use it.
What I'm saying is, if you're going out of your way to buy a smartphone, especially like a good smartphone that like runs games and shit.
Yeah.
Like, if you're doing that for the purpose of running games, why not get a cheaper smartphone that doesn't run games, but is a smartphone for all intents and purposes, like making phone calls and texts?
Yeah.
And then buy a cheap, like a used PlayStation, like something cheap, some other fucking console.
And here's the thing, Randy, people do that.
That's what I'm saying you should do.
Okay, I see what you're saying now. Okay, now I see what you're saying. I thought you were talking about something entirely different. Okay, sorry.
Oh, yeah, you're saying like, oh, you should, like, they have a fucking expensive smartphone that plays games. Why? If you want to play games, get a cheap smartphone that doesn't play games.
I see.
Get a fucking console.
Okay, now I see what you're talking about. I was confused. I thought you were talking about, like, you should always do that. It's like, Randy, I don't think most people don't have that choice to do that,
That's what I'm saying.
No, I see what you mean. Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
People aren't going to have to worry about it. But if you're specifically trying to play games, don't go find another workaround solution. Just get a thing to play them cheaply if you don't have the money.
Yeah.
There are methods.
Yeah, the thing is, like, yeah.
I just, I never understood this, and I may never understand it. But it's just, I don't understand why you would go out of your way to do something in a worse way. I
don't think most people do that on purpose. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't think,
like, my cousins, they don't. It's like, yeah, let me buy a smartphone instead of console. It's their only access to play a video game. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Course. I mean, I was young. Like, it shit happened. I get it. Yeah. I understand the concept of, like, you don't have money, you just do what you do. Yeah,
no, I understand what you mean. Like, oh, why are you buying? No, that's what I never understood about gaming phones in general. I can understand, like, accessories for that. If it's like, oh, you don't have enough money to buy a console because you have other issues to do. But here's like a $10 accessory to play. With a controller. More or less, it's like, okay.
Like, well, yeah, if that's your only option, then yeah, sure, fuck it. Who am I?
Yeah, that's not my issue. Like my issue is just mainly with like smartphone game. It's like because most people are like, I don't know if you realize right, PCs and laptops are kind of dying out for anything that isn't really for gaming. It's kind of like dying out, if that makes sense. Most people are doing their stuff on their phones now.
I know. I do all my work on my iPad.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying, right? Like most people don't really use their laptops or desktop as like, as they used to. So it's like it makes sense for people saying like these companies like making games on their phones. They just really haven't adapted how to use a phone. They don't really know. But I guess even after, I know it takes time and years, but it's like if you want to have RPGs or FPS, it's you have to think far more differently on how to do it on a phone than on a PC.
It's just fundamentally different.
Yeah, fundamentally, there's nothing inherently wrong with a genre of a FPS or a RPG. Because I played RPGs on my phones and like the ones that are like portrait mode, not like the landscape, and those make sense. It's just more how do you translate that game more than anything else. I think that's the main. I think that's what we both agree on, that there needs to be a translation more than anything else, because you can't have a one-to-one thing without having a whole system or setup now.
Yep.
Okay. Right. So anyway, yeah, sorry about this, Peter.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, no, but Peter, like, I mean, do you have family in China, right?
Yes, yeah.
Like any younger like cousins, I guess.
No, not younger anyway.
Older, I guess.
Yeah.
Do they game on their? Are they gamers? I guess gamer TM.
Gamers.
No.
Okay, no, that's fair enough. Because like I noticed, like mostly my family members in Asia, like like in Pakistan specifically, they don't have a gaming console. They just play on their phones because it's the only access they have. That's why I noticed like a lot of, like, unless you have these things. Actually, what I find interesting, there's a thing called gamer cafes, Randy.
I've heard of them. I'm aware of them.
Yeah, like in those cases, yeah, it's either that or playing on PC. It's like there's no consoles in Asia, more or less. It's kind of weird, except in like Japan. But I think that's a different story for a different day. So yeah, I know. Oh God, my throat's quite dry, but still though. Peter, do you have anything to say?
Trust me, I feel like shit.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, speaking of like mobile games, I mean, we've aside from all the topics we've covered so far, I don't have a lot to add on, I guess.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, you guys are pretty thorough.
Yeah, yeah, I think we should probably be ending the podcast right now. So, anyway, thanks for listening to the Oh God Why podcast, episode 13. This was special.
Went well.
It actually went well for us all being kind of dead inside right now. So anyway, it's me, your host Umar, my co-host Randy Modula, and my co-host Peter Liu. Do you guys have anything to say before we close off?
Nope. I'm all done.
Okay, what about you?
My tummy is upset and I am tired.
Fair enough. What about you, Peter? Do you have anything to say?
Everyone, stay safe and have fun wherever you are, I guess.
We'll hope to see you guys next week. See you later.